Breaking technology. All right,
Yeah,
guys. CJ,
Google.
you already talked about it, but Lyft shares for the rideshare company shot up 6% after CEO David Reicher confirmed that there were in the process of significant layoffs in the company. As reported by the Wall Street Journal, the company is eyeing to reduce staff by around 30% or around 1,200 full-time employees. Mark Sebastian, good morning, Mark. What kind of money
Good
flow are you
morning.
seeing?
Yeah, it's the May 12 and a half calls. About 55,000 of them were purchased on Friday. So there are some players taking some big swings at Lyft. They paid 31, 32 cents. They closed at 40, so they were already profitable. So they took a big swing here on some calls looking for some upside.
You better believe it. And wow, what a
Yeah.
candle we had on Friday with that rip higher. That big money flow is, well, making the big money. Eight baller, as we get layoff announcements like this, does that trigger your decoding senses for any other companies? Maybe that cool company Google can help search for them.
Well, Wall Street loves when you cut jobs, right? That's how Meta's building up their business. They don't know how to make money, but hey, we can cut another 10,000 jobs. It's better than the bottom line. So yeah, it's sort of a perverted way of thinking, but yes, news like that can actually propel a stock higher.
All right, let's move on to one of the hottest stocks around. Eli Lilly topped all-time highs on Friday. Woohoo! Executives announced the possibility of Medicare and Medicaid coverage for certain Alzheimer's treatments. The company will also be shifting some of its bigger resources to focus more on Alzheimer's. Shaw, as we can clearly see, investors are all in on the Eli Lilly. Are you sharing the same sentiment for the company, or are there better picks somewhere else?
No, you gotta love Lilly here. Obviously, the stock has performed beautifully. If you look at the chart, it's just a spectacular chart. Took a little pause, gave everyone an opportunity to get in if you didn't own it, and now going through the roof. It's going to continue to go higher. Alzheimer's news is huge news, especially if you've got government coverage of any of the drugs that any of the big pharma companies produce that are supposedly somewhat effective with Alzheimer's. And most of them, frankly, I read up a lot of them, really touch and go. They get approved, and the efficacy is questionable in my opinion. But something is better than nothing, and it just bodes well because if the government's going to step up and start to pay for Alzheimer's treatments, these big pharma companies are going to continue to go higher and higher.
Yes, and we've seen a lot of mergers and acquisitions in the biotech space, as 8baller just brought up recently. Are you seeing any sort of acquisitions hitting the market, getting your interest, CJ?
You know what? In that exact spot, you're going to see more in the biotech sector. This is where
Mhm.
companies either go to die or go to be bought, and that's why there's so much volatility among them. They do live and die by those, their different releases on their drugs, but we're seeing a lot of drugs come through the pipeline right now. So companies like Pfizer, companies like even Moderna are seeing value in looking at those companies that have the drugs coming through the pipeline right and getting in early because a lot of these drugs that they've got are at the end of their life cycle before they go generic. And that's going to be a problem for them running into the next couple of years. So I continue to look at the biotech sector and the oil patch. You are going to find some cheap
Yes,
companies in the oil patch that are going to be going on sale as well.
that the literal pipeline, the literal
Yeah.
pipeline right there in the oil patch.